Why hello everybody, welcome to my next tutorial. I hope you like what I did with the beginning, and I hope to do that with future videos. I just felt that it was a nice touch, better than me awkwardly saying hello, So, yeah, hope you guys like it. Anyway, moving on, I'm making a shading tutorial today because, especially with a picture that I uploaded DeviantArt a while ago, I need to start uploading more. People were asking me how I shade, quote unquote, so well. And I don't think I'm perfect at shading or anything. But some people, want tips with shading, and I'm willing to give them. My tips, what I do for shading. I know everyone's different, everyone has their own style of doing things, and this is my style. Alright, so shading is something that you need in almost every form of art that you do, unless you're doing some kind of black and white picture, things like that, because shading's all around us every day, because without light sources we wouldn't be able to see the things in front of us, and that light source brings on a shade. I went over in another video about how to find the light source, how to work with it, and I also went over how to choose a base skin tone and how to choose top skin tones, to help shade in and everything. But now we're going to bring those skills in together, and we're going to go over, shading, just shading in general. But I'm going to work mainly with skin today. But once you know how to shade a color, you can shade anything, really, anything that you need to shade, because it all falls with the same tools, unless you want to mix it up once in a while. We'll go over that. So, I have over here my swatches. This is a relatively new swatch, because, I don't know, I'm crazy. To get swatches, I mentioned this quickly in another video, but I'll just go over it again. You click the button up here that has all the different squares in it, and that brings up the swatches. You can click it again, make it go away, and then come back. Shift click, say I want this green color, I hover over a spot, shift, and then click, and then I added it there. Alright, so right here I have a nice base skin tone. Excuse the coughing I'm about to be doing. I've got some kind of respiratory thing going on, I don't even know what it is. Okay, so we're going to start with the pencil tool, as usual. This pencil tool will just, bring out the base. We'll say this is some part of someone's skin. Okay. I also talked about once before, when you go over here, if you make a layer on top of your first layer and then clip it, you can then shade inside of it without having to worry about selecting it. See? Yeah. Alright. Oh, excuse my cough. So yes, we have this color. And I talked about in another video, which I mentioned earlier, I think. Yeah. You want to use a color over in this direction, definitely like a pinkish for this kind of skin tone I'm using. Will definitely accent it a lot. So I have like a pinkish orange just going on here. Here we go. And I'm just kind of, it's like a purple almost, that's weird. Yeah, I'm just going to shade the parts that I need to be shaded. So you can see that this part is the darkest part, and the light source is coming from this direction because I'm shading over here. Now, a lot of people use different tools when it comes to shading. You can use the brush tool, the watercolor tool, the marker tool, the blur tool, the smear tool. I've seen so many different ones. Really, as long as you play with the settings, you can use any tool, really, to shade. But the ones that I feel like were really made to shade were the watercolor tool and I guess the blur tool. But I think the watercolor tool is really nice because it still shows the color a little bit while it's shading. It's weird. But you want to keep the darkest skin color on all times when you're shading the skin color that you're working with, because I'm working with this pink, so I'm going to leave it on pink and then go to the watercolor tool. You want the tool size to be about the same size that the pencil tool was when you were going over it. So that's about 365, so this will be around there. I have about 340. Alright, so what you want to do is, I always start right on the line. I always just kind of smoothly, lightly go over the line, just like this. Now it's obviously not shaded all the way. I make the tool just a little bit bigger than the original size, and then I start at the edge of the line I just made, and then I just I just kind of lightly smooth it out in this direction until it looks the way that I need it to. So you don't want it to go that way, or whatever way. You just want the darker color to go out into the lighter color. So for example, I have this picture, which people commented on a lot, asking, how did you shade this so well, you know, things like that. So I'm going to show you guys. I have everything else except for the base skin color, I guess whited out. No, I hid the layer. There we go. So I'm just going to do my normal thing. I'm going to make make another layer and clip it. Alright. So I have the same color as the base. I'm just going to move it down this way to find a nice pink. Right there. And I'm going to go in with the pencil tool first. You should always just start with the pencil tool. Do not start shading until you're confident that everything that needs to be shaded is down already. So excuse me, oh my goodness. So things like under the hairline, because the hair creates a shade on your face. Right here. You know, just like this. Just kind of go under it, keeping in mind of the light source. Alright. People like to also shade on the nose, just right under here where it naturally falls. And some people like to shade on the lips. I'm really just going about this kind of quickly and, excuse my language, half-assed right now. Because I am going to start coughing any second. Some people shade underneath the eyes to help create that blushing look. It looks kind of like a clown right now. And then under the chin, and so on and so on. Until you have all of this shaded with the cell shading. That's what this is called. Cell shading is when you don't use any smoothing to it. It just is the way that it is. Like, it's just a line. Alright, so when you're done with the cell shading and you're confident that you're ready to start, head on over to the watercolor tool or whatever tool you're using. And, you know, obviously bring down the size to the right one. And with shades like this underneath the hairline, you're going to want to keep it like this because it's more realistic because of the, just the way that the hair is. But with things that are like smoother, like in the cheeks, you're going to want to start doing that thing. You're going to want to start shading down into the base color. Just like so. See? Just around here, you're going to want to start shading all around. Now, there are many different levels of shading, as you'll learn in any art class. You know, there's the 0%, then 25%, then 50%, then 100%, you know. So it's really up to you whether you want to take it another step and add another darkness to it. Some people like to do that just to add more of a popping effect, I guess, which is, excuse me, more realistic in some points. So we're just going to move the color down again to a darker color. I have the worst cold right now. I'm just dying. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, you just kind of go where the darkest parts would be, like in the nostrils, maybe in the lip, over here a little bit more, and obviously under here. I hope you guys are understanding a little bit. See? And just kind of do the same thing as before. Now, if you feel that you accidentally shaded out too much and you can't see the color anymore, if you press really hard on the watercolor tool, it'll just act like a pencil tool. That's why you have to press really smoothly when you're shading. This looks kind of funny. Also, another thing that people like to do when they're shading is that they make the size really big and they just kind of come down like this at the top of the head because it adds like a natural dimension to the face, I guess. Alright, I have no idea how long I've been recording. I hope it's not too long so you guys are like, oh, this is so long, I don't want to watch all of this. I hope you guys understand it a little bit. Yeah, shading is pretty easy. You can use, like I said, almost any tool in here to shade. I'm not too sure about what my future tutorials will have in them. That's why I need you guys to contribute by commenting or sending me a message, telling me what you'd like to see, maybe what you need help with. Any question could turn into a tutorial on its own. So yeah, just keep the questions coming, and I hope to, excuse me, I hope to grace your inboxes with more videos eventually. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and didn't mind my coughing. Alright, comment, subscribe if you like. Alright, bye-bye.